In August 1915, the German offensive in the east is continuing, and the Soviet government has shown a tendency towards capitulation, or at least a ceasefire. We have heard of respective rumors from the political grounds. Unfortunately, this information has been leaked to the Americans, that there might be a peace between Germany and the Soviet Union, and this has enraged the American public, and American leadership has decided to break the alliance between Germany and the USA, leading to a rift in the Central Powers that is more than unfortunate. Now, they haven't been openly hostile towards us just yet, but apparently for geopolitical reasons, a peace between Germany and the Soviet Union is something that America won't stand for. Meanwhile, while a temporary ceasefire, at least in some regions is in place, German troops from the east have returned to the Western Front, and we are making progress towards northern France. And the German High Seas Fleet is in position to take on Amsterdam. And we will see if the naval bombardment from our side is going to be sufficient to deal with the Netherlands and their scheming once and for all. In Africa, the war is continuing. Given that Great Britain is now once again belligerent, we are starting to launch invasions of their respective colonies. We are making progress towards Central Africa, and we're also making progress towards more western regions of Africa to gain more colonies for the German Empire. The French shipping is still very busy along the coasts and through the Horn of Africa, while the Ottoman Empire is holding the Suez Canal, and there have been slight independence movements around Palestine and Lebanon. The Ottomans are still in control of most of the Middle East at this point. We have a situation in the English Channel. The vanguard of the High Seas Fleet has encountered a British light cruiser. So 4 of our destroyers, 2 X-class and 2 older V-class destroyers, are facing what we think is the Chatham, a British light cruiser, and we are going to try and take on this British convoy that is likely delivering troops and supplies to northern France, and to block our offensive. So it is essential that we take care of this. In dreadful weather on the English Channel, with a thunderstorm roaring, the destroyers are moving towards the last reported position of the British convoy and trying to intercept. We'll see if we can actually make contact in this weather. It's more likely than not that we'll actually even find the convoy. We have spotted some transport ships. Still no sign of the reported escort, but the destroyers will start engaging, and we'll keep an eye out for that light cruiser. Which means we're going to switch off the torpedoes for now, because I don't want anybody to send any wayward torpedoes out. The V-class destroyers are a little off course, so we'll send them to move in. But the X-class just don't. The 2 X-class destroyers just have to be careful not to stumble on that light cruiser, because that could be bad news. I have no idea what British light cruisers are capable of, but. Well, it's the British. We don't underestimate them. Anyway, these things are in gun range, so while we can't see anything, we can certainly start shooting at it. So far, everything we've spotted is more convoys. The transport ships are trying to get away, but they shouldn't have a chance. I'm not sure why we have a 26 knot top speed at the moment. It might be that one of my X-class destroyers has problems with its engines. It's probably X-30. We'll leave them together. The lead ship. We'll leave them together for now. We also got the V's closing in. They have some 88mm guns. It's not going to be super effective, but the more modern destroyers should be more than capable of just gunning down these merchant ships. And that's 2 of them sinking. It could be that the light cruiser has lost its charge in the thunderstorms. If that's the case, then we'll be more than happy to just take down the transport. Still saving the torpedoes, just in case we encounter the cruiser. The gunboats are more than capable of finishing these off. But if the light cruiser has lost its convoy in the thunderstorm, then we may be able to just vanish into the night after we finished off these transport ships, because that's all we want to do. We want to get these troop transports at the bottom of the sea, so they can't reinforce northern France and cause us problems on the ground. And without an escort, yeah, you are not gonna get anywhere. And that should be, this is the Seal. She's flooding everywhere, and we have managed to sink all the transports. So now I see no reason to risk our destroyers. We've achieved our mission, so we're going to turn around and get away in the cover of. We can lay smoke and get away in the cover of the thunderstorm without even having spotted the enemy escort cruiser. And there we have it. 1 light cruiser avoided, 3 transports sunk. I would call that a successful coastal raid. In October 1915, Italy has managed to extract itself from the war, given that our fleets have not really clashed anywhere. We have agreed to just make this a sort of a minor scrap and get them to pay a token in reparations and end this part of the fight as well. The French are desperately asking for peace after we have invaded, the troops have managed to break through the lines. The British reinforcements have been cut off in the channel, and the French government is asking to sue for peace. At this point, the German government is in agreement that we should, if possible, make an end to the bloodshed. German submarines have created a picket line on the British coast and are lurking to intercept transports and to warn us of enemy warships operating in the area. Meanwhile, one of our Nassau-class coastal guard ships has encountered a British destroyer escorting the San Antonio, a Danish battle cruiser, and Denmark is operating in conjunction with Great Britain, and as such we will engage this group. Now, the X-class destroyers are going to be significantly faster than the Nassau, and we'll send them up ahead. We'll see if we can take on that battle cruiser and maybe finish it off with the destroyers while the Nassau is still lagging behind. And I think we have made contact. Let's take a look at that ship on the horizon and see what she looks like. Okay, San Antonio, Spanish design maybe. Looks like three main turrets and a couple of secondaries. But well, we'll have a go with the destroyers and we'll see what that looks like. Nassau, I think, is still out of range. What's the range? That's almost 20 kilometers. Yeah, that's too far still for Nassau. But I don't know where the British destroyer is. I'm not too afraid of it. I've got 2 gunboat destroyers with me. Let's get torpedoes off. They do have some torpedo launchers. They're not torpedo boats like the Y class, but I don't think they've even seen us yet so far. So we'll go straight at her and see if we can intercept before she realizes we're here. There is a smoke screen over there, so I think we may have been spotted. She has been turning to starboard, and I think is now starting to open up at the destroyers. Or is she opening up at the Nassau? No, she's opening up at the Nassau. I think she doesn't have... No, there's incoming fire for the destroyers as well. Okay, let's move on to an intercept course. And I have no idea how fast that thing is or how dangerous it is. But we're still too far off. No, we're going at 33 knots, and the Nassau is starting to open up. Nassau should be able to defend herself against the enemy destroyer if need be. She's starting to get some ranging shots in, while the Axes are moving to intercept that Danish battle cruiser. And we'll just have to watch out with torpedoes potentially coming in from the destroyer. Yeah, she's definitely seen the destroyers at this point. We'll smoke up. Have we landed a hit? No. We'll smoke up. Hopefully that'll, because these shells are coming in relatively close now, and then we'll try to run an intercept course. Still no sign of the British destroyer, short of that smoke screen over there. Nassau is, well, too far away to land anything but a lucky shot, so we'll see. We should be able to intercept this thing with the destroyers and hopefully finish her off. Okay, we've got a visual on the enemy destroyer, but we've spotted her in her smoke screen there for a second, so there might be torpedoes in the water, which means we probably have to, yeah, unfortunately we'll have to turn and avoid. I have no idea how capable a British destroyer is, but we'll turn in towards the destroyer. We'll abort the run up towards the battle cruiser at this point. Nassau is gonna have to turn actually in order to get into a better firing position. We'll do a slight course adjustment and see if we can get the British destroyer under fire here. But this is not a good torpedo angle. Incoming shot, but seems to have bounced off the armor of X-34. Okay, there was the destroyer spotted for a second again. Yep, there come the torpedoes. Where are they going? That's a lot of torpedoes, and I am not happy about it. Can we evade those? I am not certain that we can. There is a little gap in between. Take the destroyer under fire now. There is a little gap in between, and we might be able to thread the needle here. Just making sure that X-39 is avoiding them as well. I think X-39 should be okay. Oh, nope, we have taken a torpedo hit with X-39, but except for slight flooding in the bow section, is nothing dramatic. I am thinking of, at this point, dropping the torpedoes. And then we will we'll take the destroyer on with the guns. Let's get the torpedoes away. Maybe we'll get a lucky hit on the destroyer. And yeah, torpedoes away. And Nassau is still way out of position to do anything. So let's close in and see if we can finish off the destroyer. Oh, ow! Over penetration from the battle cruiser. I think actually we might want to disengage. We've got our torpedoes away. Maybe we get a lucky hit on the enemy destroyer, but that battle cruiser is pretty precise with its gunnery, and I am not a fan of that. So let's see. I mean, the torpedoes are going to be spotted by the destroyer, so I would assume that the battle cruiser is going to be able to evade. But X-34 is still flooding from that over-penetrating hit. The destroyer is evading the torpedoes, I think, at this point. But I'm more keen to know if the battle cruiser can, if we can get some hits in on the battle cruiser. X-39 is still slightly flooding. We've got the fire under control, and it looks like the bulkheads are holding. And the destroyer has gone out of sight. So let's turn around and give chase once more, but I think the battle cruiser is going to be able to avoid these torpedoes mostly. Where is that torpedo going? Well, that's gone off track and has detonated harmlessly in the water. I think we may get one hit if we're lucky, but the angle would be too steep. Yeah, she's avoided the torpedoes without too much trouble, whereas Nassau is still very far ahead. There is still a torpedo coming in. Nassau has a very, very slim chance of actually hitting this thing. Let's take the British destroyer under fire and see if we can finish that one off. We've taken a little bit of damage, definitely more than I would have liked. British gunnery not to be underestimated here, especially at close ranges. So, yep, there's still shell splashes, and that is destroyer is not stupid. They are actually the battlecruiser is Danish, so that wouldn't have been British. Anyway, the destroyer is not stupid. She is sailing close to the battlecruiser to draw us in and to try to get us to within effective range of the battlecruiser's main guns. And I don't think I want to play that game. Yeah, because there's a lot of secondary gunfire also coming in. So in that case, let's refocus on the San Antonio and just keep our distance. And Nassau is at this point, for modern battles, just too slow with 19 knots. There's just no way she's ever going to catch up. I mean, she is lobbing a couple of shells across, but the destroyer is running for it. We might get another chance at a torpedo run at the San Antonio, but we would have to get uncomfortably close to make that happen. So maybe we'll keep our distance first. Anyway, the torpedoes are still reloading. So for now, we're just peppering that battlecruiser with high explosive shells, and still a little far for effective fire, but I just want to make sure we're not getting hit by that sort of broadside. Yeah. Okay. So she is disengaging. Torpedoes more than half reloaded at this point. Let's turn and adjust our course. And Nassau is how far is she away now? She is, well, almost 12 kilometers. That is within effective range, sort of, but unlikely that she's going to land hits. And one of the main battery shells has hit X-34. The ship's basically blown up. So I think at this point I am no longer interested in engaging with X-39. We have managed to set some to get some fires burning on the San Antonio, but engaging with destroyers here is with the Nassau being sort of left behind because she just can't catch up is it's too pricey, and all it takes is one lucky hit from a large caliber shell like we've seen in X-34. So X-39 will just hopefully try to take some crew on board, and but then otherwise disengage and not deal with this battle cruiser firing high explosive at us. The Danes, more dangerous than you would think. All in all, the victory goes to the British at this time, but no thanks to their own ships. It was the San Antonio really, and the excellent Danish gunnery that has sunk the X-34. So the Danes, someone to keep an eye on.